Hi everyone, it's great to see you. I'm going to be doing some bulb planting for my bag in a pot in a pot. So if you remember, I have my large pots where I then place a smaller pot, a nursery pot like this, and then inside that I have these great grow bags that I can take in and out and switch them for whatever's in bloom at that time. So I've decided that this year I'm going to plant some of these grow bags with some spring bulbs. Now around here, the bunnies eat the tulips, so it's really hard to get bulbs in your ground that are going to last and really give you a good showing of blooms. So I figured this is a good way around it. Now, the pot and the pot, the big pot and the nursery pot, are actually out in the garden. I have this nursery pot here just to give my bag some stability while I'm planting. I will then next spring be lifting this out and putting it into the nursery pot that's in the big pot. But for now, this should work. So my bags have been filled with some potting mix, and I'm going to get some bulb tone to add into that too. And then I'm just going to plant my bulbs. Now I have a bunch of daffodils, I have daffodil and tulip mixes, and I have some plain tulips. All of these bulbs say that they should be planted about 6 inches deep. Now, from what I've read, a lot of the current research are saying that you can actually plant your bulbs more shallow than that, and they do just fine. So I'm going to aim for maybe like 4 inches deep with these. I'm also going to just pack them in. I am going to be counting these bags as just annuals. They are a one-shot deal. I'm going to cram them in. I'm going to hope for beautiful flowers in the spring, and then I am just going to dump them out and recycle them and put in my next thing that blooms in the spring. Let me tell you a little bit about the bulbs that I have here. So I have a beautiful daffodil called Congress, which is yellow on the outside with these orange centers, and I actually have a bunch of these in the ground already. These do really well. The bunnies don't eat the daffodils, so we're pretty good as long as the squirrels don't dig them up. So I'm going to save these till last. These might actually end up going in the ground. And then I have a beautiful mix called Golden Cotton Candy. And I'll have to look up and tell you what is in that mix here. But it is this sort of double daffodil and this very full pink type of tulip. And then I have some plain Angelique Tulips, which are this paler pink that is very full, almost peony-like. And these are really special because a good family member who passed away last year used to send me Angelique Tulips. And so these are sort of planted for her. So I'm going to get planting. Uh-oh. So we had, let me find them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tulip bulbs in these bags. So I think I can fit probably 2 bags in each of these containers. With all tulip bulbs, you always want to plant the point going up. That's really important. And then the flatter part goes down. That's where the roots are going to come out. Let me tell you a little bit about the Angelique Tulips. So these are a real pastel, romantic looking tulip. They have a light fragrance to them, and they are also really good in floral arrangements. I'm going to go get my bulb tone, and I'll be right back. I'm back with my bulb tone. If I didn't have bulb tone, I probably would go ahead and use the biotone. Bulb tone actually has biotone in it, so it's a really great choice if you have it available. So we had a lot of rain the last couple days, and the soil in here is pretty wet. I'm not going to water it. Because these are in containers, if you are planting bulbs in containers, you don't want the bulbs to rot throughout the winter. So the safest thing to do is to put them in a cold, enclosed area. And I'm actually going to store these with my hydrangeas in the unheated shed. And they should be fine. The amount of water in here, they're quite damp, should get them through. And I'll check on them, make sure they don't dry completely out. But my guess is they'll be safe there. Nothing will dig them up. And then I can whisk them out come spring. A couple things I want to point out here. One is that I am putting the fertilizer on top of the bulbs. So you'll see that a lot of people sprinkle the fertilizer in the bulb holes, and that is absolutely fine. However, you can also just sprinkle it along the top. As it works its way down, the bulbs will get it. Actually having it underneath the bulbs, they might not get quite as much. So that's just how I like to do it. And you'll also notice I really didn't have to dig holes for these. That's because this is potting soil. It's so loose, it's just easy to push it aside and plant the bulbs. Okay. Next I'm going to be planting the tulip daffodil combination here. I just love this. So bright here. Cheerful looking.
When you're sold a combination bulb pack like this, with the cotton candy pink double tulips and the golden yellow double daffodils, they're sold together because they know that these two types of bulbs will bloom at the same time. So it's a really great idea if you're planning a mixture. You just know that you're going to have a really good result.
Okay, so I am back. It doesn't look like much right now, but I think in the spring, fingers crossed, it will be beautiful, and I will be able to show you these tulips and daffodils in the bag and the pot and the pots. So we'll see. I'm going to put them directly in the shed now, and all these bulbs, we'll see you in the spring. So just a review of the bag in the pot method. This is one of the bags in a pot that I have going here, and in the center we have a rose that's in the bag. So around the edge I had annuals that I've now taken out because they're past, so you can just see this rim gap. And so for the winter I will lift this out. Whoops, you want to leave the nursery pot inside, lift the bag out. And then come spring, here's my bag that I just planted all the bulbs in. I can add this in the middle and we'll have a beautiful arrangement of the blooming daffodils and tulips. So this is just such a wonderful way to do this. Now, around the edge, I can do some pansies in the early spring, something like that, switch them out later. Or, let me show you another possibility. Your other option is to do something like this, where I have my heuchera, which are perennial around the outside, and these are evergreen, so these will stay green through the winter. I'm going to do sort of a winter arrangement in the center here. Here's our bag that we can lift out. I've just taken out all the coleus that died, but I could do something like this in the spring, put my bulbs right in the middle, and I'll have this beautiful lime green foliage around the outside. So you have a couple options. They're just so versatile. I highly recommend the bag in the pot method. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.